Hi everybody, welcome to Ask Svet About Crypto channel where we talk about white paper and rank it. Today we're going to be talking about Tether, and here's Chris Gaines. As usual, he's going to be helping me and asking me all these questions which you probably want to ask me. Let's do it.
Awesome. I'm sure most people are pretty familiar with Tether, so this is going to be a good one. So I went through the review. And for anyone who's not familiar, Tether is basically, it's a token that's issued on top of Bitcoin, on now Ethereum. They're also Ethereum. It's called an omni-layer protocol. It allows the creation and destruction of an unlimited number of USDTs. That's the Tether token itself. And that token is supposed to be pinned to the exact, it's supposed to be pinned to an exact dollar amount that backs each token. Therefore, you can treat your USDT like you would a fiat US dollar. So basically, the first part you're talking about the solution or the business model that Tether is applying, right? And you state that it looks pretty sketchy. And in that case, in your own words, why do you say it's sketchy?
Yeah, first of all, just to let you know, because I have different metrics in my valuation or in my ranking, I analyze these only business ranking, because there is, of course, technical system ratings, there is a tokenomics rating, and there is, of course, the value ratings where I talked about the markets. So now we talk about entrepreneurship. So we talk about the business side of the project and of course of the white paper. So the first is a solution. Solution means business model. So how viable is a business model? How well it works? And actually on that metrics, I value Tether a little bit less than average, worse than average, with B minus. And the reason why I'm doing that is primarily because all their business model based on the one assumption. They always has to keep the reserves, which corresponds to the number of the tokens, which is extremely difficult to do and extremely difficult actually to audit.
Yeah.
So at some particular point in time, there is no guarantee they will actually have those reserves.
So basically their sole function, having an equal amount of actual dollars in an account as USDTs that exist, is not easily provable.
It's not easily provable, and most importantly, it's very easily challengeable, as we have seen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it is not workable model, because obviously, we don't know, but obviously this enterprise is going on for a long time. And it means that somehow they are able to pay their staff, to pay their manager, and I assume it's not salaries are above average. Of course, it's all assumptions, and I'll talk about that later. But anyway, about the solution, I rank it B minus because although it's have major flaw, which is baking their reserve one-to-one with United States currency, that's still workable solution. That's why they're in B level.
It's a cut and dried, like on the surface, it makes total sense, right?
Well, I hope it is, but many people can disagree, or some can agree. That's my opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, the idea to me makes a total amount of sense. The way that they achieve it, that is the sketchy part.
It's it's very, very difficult to
validate,
to manage all of this.
So the next section is validity, looking at the legality of Tether, correct? So Tether has never actually been fully publicly audited, which is kind of what we were talking about earlier. More so, we actually don't know their organizational structure, and we don't know if they have legal representations in other countries.
That's true. That's true. So basically, validity, as Chris said, that's a part of my metrics which look at the legal validity of the company. Because in any types of businesses, specifically in a token-based business, in a crypto business, being legal is extremely important, specifically in the United States or in other countries where there is a very, very thick layer or many regulations which can undermine any part or all parts of your business process. So you can be closed by authorities. Authorities can send you cease and desist letter or something of that sort, which of course will reflect on us, their users. That's why validity is a very important part of the rating. And as Chris said, we don't have information. We know that that company is registered in Hong Kong. This company is obviously registered in the United States, particularly in New York. But we still don't know we don't even know what the legal form of this company is. Not to mention that we don't know whether the company is registered in any other countries. So all these complicated issues, but at the same time, we don't have any information from public sources that this company legality has ever been challenged. And that's why I rank it on a B level, without even minus, because there is, I suspect, anybody can suspect, but we don't have information, we don't have data, right?
And it seems like Tether is kind of just, unless something catastrophic happens where they're proven to be completely fraudulent, it seems like they're kind of on the side of the crypto space while more crazy stuff has been happening with
That's one of the difficulty with all the current rankings, including my own, because we don't have an access to the audited information. I cannot call CEO of the Tether and say, hi, could you please provide me this information, which means my readers are gonna maybe very, very interested to see. I can't. In other companies, there is in other companies, in a kind of non-crypto market, that's a best practice, right? Every quarter, the CEOs and analytical departments
public information.
Yes, they have to, well, not they have to, but that's a good business practice because they're interested in letting public, which traded their shares, to know more about them, rather than have all these scandals. Tether is now equal to scandals.
So that leads into the next topic, equity.
Equity,
right?
Yes. It's a finance.
Finance.
It's a
financial equity. That the state of Tether's finance.
Yes.
As again, these all kind of come from the same point, which is we don't know.
Well, with finance, we have a little bit better situation because we know that they were audited by one of the big four companies. But the conclusion was that they do not have enough reserves.
So it was proved, at least based on this audit,
based on this audit, I lowered their rating to C++. So now they are in a C category on that part of the rating because we have an information which confirm that something going on there. Whether it's will lead to more serious consequences, we don't know. Maybe
Well, the thought would be that if Tether is operating exactly how they say they should be, meaning they have an equal amount of US dollars stored to match the USDT, you would think that they would be willing to make that public information, right? Or some it depends, but you're basically stating that unless they actually do that, unless they have a provable way to say that they're actually doing what they say they're doing, they're open to constantly being challenged.
Well, I think everything goes to the maturity of our industry, because now we are in so early stages that we don't absolutely have anything stable. Not even stable coins are stable. We don't have the approved practices how to audit companies where majority of their business processes is in a blockchain, which dealing with cryptocurrencies. Nobody really know how to deal with that because all of the known accounting standards, international accounting standards, or generally accepted accounting principles,
They're out the window.
GEEP, yes, you can just throw them out the window right away.
Someone help us. Someone figure something out.
Well, yeah, I hope somebody
some
can help us.
blockchain accountants.
But for me, as a issuer of the rating, I got that dilemma: either not to rate these companies at all, which is probably not a good idea because you people need some information at the best of my knowledge, right? And companies themselves, they need this information because they have to measure themselves against their competitors. That's where rating comes from.
And potential partners.
And potential partners and the other, yes, as you said, and external bodies who actually wanted to invest in this company or maybe even audit that.
So the last rating is team.
Team, yes.
Now, again, we don't know everything about Tether's.
Actually, we don't
we
very
know
little.
something, right?
We know that we know the name of their CEO, we know the name of their CFO, and the information is available in both on the site, official site of Tether, and on LinkedIn, where you can check out the basic CVs of the management. But actually, when I did that, I was very much negatively surprised because none of those persons have ever succeeded really in
the blockchain industry.
Not even in blockchain generally. It was like
Succeeded generally.
well, I mean, except that their CEO is also the CEO of the Bitfinex, right? We don't really know what was his previous businesses.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the CFO of the company is actually Doctor of Medicine. I'm sure that you can know finance being Doctor of Medicine, but
it raises some questions.
It raises some.
It doesn't make me feel as confident that
Exactly.
they are doing exactly what they say they're doing, as opposed to the CFO being someone who's been in finance specifically at large companies for a long time. Right?
Additionally, none of this person can be contacted. So there is no contact information. You cannot call them. There is no Twitter account.
Which is crazy.
Which, come on, guys, we have the chief executive officer of the biggest exchange in the world, Binance, CG, always on the Twitter.
Yeah.
I can go there. I can find. Of course, if I ask questions from him, probably I wouldn't receive any answer because he's busy. But at least I can see what that person doing, what he's thinking about,
how he reacts
to different situations, whether it was a good reaction or bad reaction. That was last time. But Tether is big deal. It's the biggest deal in our space. That's one of the underlying pillars of the crypto economy. Bro, I don't like it. Many people don't like it, but that's a fact. So I think that the level of the communication, level of the responsibility those people bear cannot be compared with their pretenses, right? With their actual stance in the economy. So there is this disequilibrium.
So how did you rank?
Yes, but despite all of this criticism, there is one important thing: it works. I cannot deny that. Okay, I don't like that. I do not accept that, and I think it must be changed as soon as possible. But it works. None of their top managers have ever left the company. We have not ever heard about any internal scandals or something which is split team to two teams, which very often happen in other companies. So it tells me that whatever we saying about that management, maybe they're still good.
It's the potential.
Maybe they're still perfect even, right? But they're type of people which prefer to be quiet, which prefer to be in a second kind of, don't put their faces on televisions for reason. Maybe that's not nefarious reason. Well, we don't know. That's why
we don't know.
Yes, that's why my rank is in the B area. So it's
low B.
It's low, it's B minus, but it's still B, so it's a business, it's operational. So it's, but B minus means that it can be moving to the C. If something happens, I immediately devalue that company to the C.
Yep.
I mean, like, if something happens on the management level, if I hear something
Something
or somebody tells me information, and you will hear about that.
So in conclusion?
Yes, that's actually it. So let me repeat the rating. So again, it's an entrepreneurship scale, and there is a solution, which is a business process. Then we have validity, legal validity of the company. Then we have equity, the state of the finance of the company. And then we have team, how viable is a team, how well organized, and how well reputed is a team. So on these metrics, I got solution is a B double minus. Then on validity is a B, we don't have any challenges. Then on the equity, finance, because of what happened in New York, all of these scandals, we have C double plus, and on a team is B minus. So that's conclude this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Chris, thank you again for helping me.
Thanks
See
for
you
having me.
next time. Bye bye.